that you're just going to walk over the map. So for me, it's about IG shutting down WE early through their top lane picks. And on the other hand, if WE can survive the onslaught, they just have so many more tools in the late game.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to jump straight onto the rift and let the Gyos roar as we get in for the final time today. Now, Clement Chu, thank you for jumping in at such short notice. It wasn't you who broke up the Irish connection. It was the Irish internet that broke up the Irish connection. So don't be taking it too harshly as BEISHANG gets himself some nice deep warding. And yeah, it's overall, I really like both comps, honestly. I feel like Team WE, in my opinion, have a slight edge, but that's just my opinion, which doesn't make it, doesn't mean a lot considering I'm a play-by-play. But for Shun, I want to see if he can do a similar thing that he did in Game 1 on this Lillia.
I totally agree with you here. I think it's much easier for WE to kind of break IG's priority advantage by just getting a kill with the Pantheon, and they have pretty easy stun chains coming from the top side. So my guess is that if they're able to put the Shy 0-2 like they did last game, they're probably just going to walk away with this this series overall. On IG's side, their ganks are a little bit harder to execute. As a Lillia, you don't really have a hard stock control until you hit that level 6. They do have a lot of priority though, so this time around I do want to see Shun going into the jungle of BEISHANG and taking the fight there to him with the help of his solo laners.
The Lucian Leona bot side missing, and JUMENG gonna try and make sure that BAOLAN does not get control of what I like to call absolute territory, the middle bit that is contested almost certainly by both supports. If you can get control of that brush, you can get control of the wave push.
The way this
And again, this is a very...
go for it. The way I think this bot lane should work is W are just going to try and push. They have a lot more wave control in the form of the E onto the explosive package onto Tristna, and Winds of War can come out for Galio as well, so they can control the wave that way. But never mind, they're actually going full-on aggressive.
Great flash from Wink, though, to try and stop the Justice Points from coming in, which forces JUMENG to flash himself. Missing, also taking a bit of a bad trade there. I like the aggression from Team WE, but it does not equal out to any kind of advantage. The Shy knocking back Breathe, but here is BEISHANG, flashes in, gets himself the knockback. The Shy should be able to keep himself alive. They flash over. No! First blood to the MVP from Game 2, BEISHANG.
Yeah, Pantheon is just too good at finishing off low health targets. Once you hit that 20% HP mark, he gains free crit on you. So with double flashes off, the Shy wasn't going to be able to get away from that one. And that's why I do favor WE's composition like we were just talking about. It is about priority, but a lot more kill pressure on the side of WE.
Well, Shun is here with the Shy. Shy TPing straight back, and they're saying, you're not getting that kill for free. You will lose your blue buff. So a triple buff start. BAOLAN flashes in on top of Missing, who's able to... Sorry, he's on top of JUMENG, who's able to get himself out as well. They will trade tower for... Sorry, support for support. Tower being a very nice third man. But JUMENG, you are on the wrong side of this fight right now, and you are going to get taken down. Double kill. And the important thing to note here is that 2 kills went for Wink. None went to JUMENG.
And this is a very terrifying lane. We have seen Lucian dominate even in high Korean challenger, so this is a viable pick. We haven't seen it a lot. I believe it's the first bot lane Lucian. Wink is gonna survive.
Yeah, he should be fine. Yeah, should be all right, sitting there underneath his turret, just able to keep BEISHANG just keeping him honest, I suppose is the best way you can put it. But yeah, like, let's have a look at how this all kind of went down, because you can see the IG, they just wanted it. They wanted it so bad.
Yep, they forced the early summoners out of JUMENG. They still have enough tankiness onto the Leona to actually kill the Galio before the tower aggro shifts towards the Lucian. So that just means that Wink is healthy enough to pursue the second kill as well. And the typical build we have seen from the Lucian has actually been the Gale Force. We've seen Essence Reaver into it as well, just to get you a little bit more mana. So still a pretty crit focused build, I would say. And the fun one is Navori Quick Blades. That's one that we see pretty common on Lucian bot lanes. It just means that when he hits those breakpoints, he's very difficult to catch. It's no longer if he can kite back from you, then his range isn't that much of an issue.
Big wave being pushed into the Shy, which means he'll probably end up about 10 or so CS ahead of his lane opponent. Be a little bit less. And yeah, overall, the Jayce pick into the Camille, very, very powerful, very, very potent if you can get it going. As well with the Lillia, means that there's a lot of kill pressure here. So you got to be very, very careful if you breathe. You can't really be afforded to mess up any huge engages, otherwise you will be punished.
And we're seeing BEISHANG be put very far behind. He did have his blue buff stolen away by Xun coming in. And also, he had to run bot for a futile gank. So this is going to set up the win condition that we were talking about. Xun going into WE's jungle, bullying out BEISHANG, and making use of that priority. If you have priority, but it only amounts to like 10, 20 CS leads, I don't think it's worth it in professional play. I never see that 10, 20 CS leads being worth contorting your draft to achieve that goal. For me, that's not the goal. That just doesn't work. So I want to see IG make use of Rookie. He's been winning his lane this entire series, but you haven't actually sealed the deal. You haven't actually got the winning blow from that. So that's where I want to see IG focus on.
Oh, BEISHANG is up towards this top side. No level 6 for either top laner. Now the Shy has it, but it doesn't actually matter because he is Jayce. They're trying to see if they can do a bit of a counter gank at the bot side. There is the nice Justice Punch on top of BAOLAN, and he will fall. They actually get a kill up on top side as well. Oh no, Wink's tanking so much as well. Xun trying to jump in on top of JUMENG means that he will be able to get him off of this turret. Wink almost going down, ends up overall being a 2-for-1 in favor of Team WE. They make the map play work for them in the bot side.
Typical weak side THESHY play. Let's go. So it is going to be a trade for both sides, but I do still put this very much in favor of Invictus Gaming. We do have to see if Rookie can get away from this one.
Ooh, Rookie, you need to be so careful. BEISHANG, though, has the Q. Lilting Lullaby is available for Xun if he wants to use it. They're going to jump in with JUMENG, though, and he hasn't got anything on top of him. BAOLAN is there. So very close for Xun to go down. He will just about survive. But Team WE, they're starting to ramp up the pace. They are a little bit behind in gold, but you can see that they're feeling a lot more confident coming into these fights.
Yeah, I definitely think if IG are still currently favored, despite the top lane going awry for THESHY, because once they take down this bot lane tower, they should be able to rotate and reallocate their lanes across the map. Shouldn't be that much of a trouble for THESHY catching back up, and they're gonna find another pretty easy. I think they should be able to go in onto this. They're just baiting.
No, they're backing up. They're backing up. They're backing up. They don't want to fight it. They know that the Dragon's a potential possibility. They want to make sure that they get the resets in. They don't just overforce something. Because, again, they do not know where BEISHANG is, and Grand Skyfall is available. A little bit of tempered judgment here from the side of IG. I like it. Definitely something we're not used to seeing overall from this team, but something that they've definitely learned they need now coming into this series.
Yeah, forgot about the BEISHANG factor hovering in the back there. So IG are going to let this one go. And once again, we see WE setting up a very good lane position for Breathe. THESHY can't really walk up to this one without knowing where Pantheon is, and he's playing very, very safe here, trying to get some deep wards down.
Missing, you are sitting on awards. You are not missing, you are very much here. So this wave is trying to be held here by IG. They will unfortunately have to get it pushed into the side of WE very, very shortly. The wave is that's just how it goes sometimes. It's very difficult to hold a wave, unfortunately, for the side of WE, so the Tristna will just naturally push that back with her passive on her W. And everyone backs away, calms themselves down. I will say, however, a 3-0-0 Pantheon this early in the game. Yes, he's behind on farm, but it doesn't matter. He's got the gold to make up for that.
And the Gore Drinker to make up for all the tank stats he's not going to get. So this is going to be a very viable front line in the next couple of Dragon fights. And just look at what's happening in the top lane. THESHY is getting zoned out from normal CS. Like, he can't actually farm with his auto attacks right now. He has to farm with his Q. And BEISHANG is pretty happy to just let him sit on that, you know? He has this side of the jungle. He's controlling this. And it's up to Xun right now whether he wants to bail THESHY out or just make sure the bot lane suffers so heavily that they can actually get the better trade.
Oh, well. And he's got the Iron Spike whip up on top side. You can see the Grand Skyfall comes in. They use the Hextech Ultimatum perfectly to lock down THESHY. Rookie was there, but he could only look on as his teammate was killed in front of him in cold blood. And he has to back away. Great moves here from TWE.
Yeah, and this is where we kind of call out THESHY. If your bot lane is doing well, you don't have to play super aggressive, okay? You want to play super aggressive. That's definitely the case for him. BAOLAN's going to go in, but missing. Ooh. Really spicy evade.
Yeah, missing does keep him set. Yeah. Keeps himself, buffers the Xenoblade very, very nicely. All the plates going over in favor of BEISHANG and BREATHE in the top side. That's a hell of a lot of gold in the back pocket of the Camille and the already very rich Pantheon. They will trade it back on the bot side, so again, equal for equal, but the kill going over for WE. You can see this, lead of gold. It was 1,000 behind, they're now 1,000 ahead. They've swapped the gold by about 2,000 in the last 3 minutes.
And it looks like they're still going to get a second charge onto the top lane tower. Massive amounts of pressure for WE on this top side. This just means that the Camille is going to be able to swing mid super easily, and I don't think Rookie, however good he is, he's not going to be able to get an advantage over Shanks because he has two members coming in from the left side of the map in Pantheon and Camille that he has to account for at all times. For the next couple of minutes, it is going to be both of these teams still sticking to their side of the map. And if I'm IMG, I'm pretty much just hoping that, hey, I can find a pick, I can snowball that into the next couple of breaks.
Oh, Shun finds himself Shanks. He flashes in. Gonna have the lilting lullaby as well. Missing is there. Shockwave is used just before he goes to sleep. Very nicely done by Shanks, but the Breathe is here. They know they have no teleport, or there's no flash on Shun, and Shun will fall. They have got the Hextech ultimatum. Not quite available, though, so they can't use it just yet. And what looked like an opportunistic play for IG ends up going very much awry, and now they're very much on the back foot.
Yeah, I like that idea from IG. They just push down that bottom lane, so typically, usually in that sort of situation, there isn't going to be a ward behind you, but somehow they found it. Now JUMENG, super close.
Ooh. That was so close. The power of Gale Force, and actually Wink going for that one first item there. We can see BEISHANG on the back side, though. Does he look for something? They have got the flash out of Wink. They have to use the exhaust immediately. There was no Scat of the Week just available. They are going to use the Justice Punch to jump straight on top of BAOLAN. There is the Unleashed Power. The Ignite is ticking down. Missing should just about stay alive. They flash in. There's the Hextech ultimatum and another pick. Another opportunity from IG just gone to waste. And they just end up bleeding more and more.
And this is where IG is going to run into a lot of trouble. They're outside of the laning phase. They didn't get enough out of the lane priority they had in the solo lanes. And if you look at their composition, their best form of engage is on BAOLAN. So they are counting on their support right now to kind of find them those kills, kind of get them snowballed into a good position. Otherwise, this is not a 5v5 composition. If you're looking at what this team does in team fights, they don't really do much. So it's going to have to be IG kind of pigeonholing themselves into a skirmish composition, and it's really hard to snowball at this point. You have to go into the enemy jungle. You have to be setting up blind spots on the map in order for this to work.
But even look at the top lane. We talked about the Jayce into the Camille and how the Shy can work this out for his team. He hasn't even gotten his Eclipse yet. He's so far behind against the Triforce on the Camille. Breathe owns the bot like any kind of 1v1, and that's why you can see IG is saying, cool, Camille's top, Jayce, your bot. You need to get some items. You need to become relevant just to be able to wave clear, because right now you can't go near this Camille.
I feel like IG could have drafted himself a bit more hard crowd control and have a much easier time actually finding picks and doing plays across the map. They drafted for pure priority. They didn't really get enough out of it. And once that first kill went over to Breathe, it was kind of over for the top side.
One positive light I will say for the side of IG is that Wink has been fantastic on the Lucian so far. He's actually 2 levels ahead of JUMENG, who just can't really stay in any kind of lane. The culling comes out, just critters him down a lot of his HP bar. However, while that's all happening, we can't ignore the fact that IG have no answer to this Camille, who is still split pushing and just causing all sorts of problems for them in the side lane.
IG do not have a split pushing champion, so this situation is only going to exacerbate itself. Once again, IG, it's like, you kind of live and die by the IG draft. It's kind of funny because I always felt like if IG just drafted a normal front-to-back composition, their players are so proficient that they would win out anyway. But sometimes IG are very much set in their ways. Like, they won't go for the easy play. They want to go for the IG play.
Just because the IG way makes you look good when you're winning doesn't mean that it's always the correct play. See Wink just being funneled a lot of this gold. He's actually 50 CS up on top of his ADC counterpart, and I really think that he's going to be a huge, huge thorn on the side of WE if they cannot lock him down. You can tell that if there's a team fight over this dragon, which probably looking like there's not going to be, considering that the Missing is taking a recall back, but they're going to be looking to focus out Wink, try and get that damage out of his hands, and just try and turn the team fight from there. I feel like that's the big play you want to be doing if you're Team WE. As I say, big plays. Shanks gets caught. Oh, nice happy feet. Keep himself alive. Shockwave does bring back BAOLAN. There's not really much else of a follow-up coming in. JUMENG is here to try and defend this turret, as is BEISHANG, but it's going to be very, very difficult. Can't really siege it down, and we saw this happen last time as well when you saw this in the TT versus LNG game. If you have a poke comp, that's fantastic, but if you can't take a turret with your poke comp, that just shows you how genuinely weak it can become.
Yeah, now they're going to find another hopeful pick onto Missing, but Missing just flashes away, gets out of that one pretty easily. And that's what I was worrying about with IG putting all of their engage onto BAOLAN. Now, I think BAOLAN's actually a great recon initiator, but on everything else, I wouldn't put him in the upper echelon of engaged supports right there. And you could see Shanks didn't have his flash right there, couldn't find the Zenith Blade, couldn't find the ultimate. He gets to walk away for free, and meanwhile they're just bleeding out in the bot lane.
Yeah, now that he has his flash, he's able to use it. The Lilting Lullabot comes down, but this might be a little bit of a false fight for the side of IG. They do get the Hero's entrance out of Missing, and they get the tier 1 in the mid lane. But Breathe is roaming around, has not got flash, but does have Hextech ultimate, and they need to be very, very careful how they want to take this. But everyone's just backing away, nobody dies, and they take themselves a mid lane tier 1.
This is the easiest game of Breathe's life. No one is contesting him on the side lanes. Every time he goes there.
PvE.
Exactly, it's a PvE time for him. So, you know, he's still willing to play it slow right here, but we have seen when Camille's hit 3 items, the game's just over. There's nothing you can do to Camille anymore. The Triforce and the Ravenous Hydra giving 20% Omni Vamp. You can't get that out of the true damage coming in from the Precision Protocol as well. You just scale way too well. And the third item has typically been Steric's Gauge, so you can frontline as well in a team fight. If 5 people tag you, you get max Bloodlust stacks, and you just have a 40% HP shield on top of a 20% HP shield from your passive. You're pretty much unkillable by that point. So IG right now, they are the ones that are on a very tight timer. We talked about it. It's 3 items. That's where the game just ends. There is no coming back from Camille at that point.
In a vacuum, absolutely agree. Of course, this is the LPL where anything can bloody happen. Everyone can decide to just randomly go to Baron and try and throw it away at that particular point. And if you follow any type of LPL analyst, be it Kelsey Moser or even League of Emily on the LCS, junglers tend to not use their smite on global objectives. So there's always an opportunity. But I do agree with you. It is looking very, very grim. Again, for IG, they need to try and capitalize on the fact that JUMENG has been put very, very far behind. He actually picked up a very late cull as well, so he was trying to do a little bit extra kind of catching up. With 40 CS down, 2 kills as well, he's just gonna struggle very, very hard to try and just deal with anybody in any kind of lane if he doesn't have support.
Yeah, that's what I don't like about the Tristana pick. It's pretty weak in lane overall. You don't have the Alistar. I don't think the combo works out that well for you, and she's very slow. She needs that third item to do the damage that she really wants to. And that probably is the window that IG is banking on right now. The fact that they have the 2 Drake lead, that they can push in mid without any opposition, is going to give them a lot of chances to maybe find picks around that Drake, and that's kind of their only way out. It's a very slim gold lead, but just because of the scaling and the side lane pressure, this game is massively in favor of WE.
For IG, they're probably going to want to try and fight around this next Mountain Drake, which is spawning in just over a minute's time. They should have an Essence Reaver combo with that Gale Force on top of Wink. Maybe have something extra for Rookie in the back pocket as well. They have the Zhonya's and the Night Harvester finished up for Xun, who hasn't had the most active of early games, so still looking to try and maybe stack that Dark Harvest up as best he possibly can. For BEISHANG, 5-0, he is working towards that Steric's Gate. He should have it as well, so we could see a pretty big power spike for pretty much everybody across the board. This Dragon, in 45 seconds is going to be a huge turning point potentially for either side.
Definitely is, and IG are the ones that are going to be having to look for the picks right now. Taking a look at the items, we don't have a lot of stopwatches. The only stopwatch is going to be on Breathe, so they could find some targets here.
Missing just gets completely burst down. BAOLAN gonna get jumped on by the Pantheon, so they trade 1 for 1 in terms of supports. BEISHANG looking for Wink, no flash for him though. Now it's a 4v4, 15 seconds until the Dragon, and 2 major bits of engage are gone.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good win for WE. They do get both summoners out from Wink, so they should be having an easy time trying to find a kill onto him. However, JUMENG is very low HP, so I still think this one should go over to IG.
Should and will are two very, very different words. As you can see, WE, they're trying to push themselves in. They know it's a 4v4. If they catch someone out, if they catch Wink out, he doesn't have anywhere to go. They jump in, Hexagon will blade him, and a 3-man Shockwave is a perfect combination. They can't get the Lilting Lullaby. They can't get anything else going for them, and Team WE will mop the floor with IG. Perfect engage from
BREATHE
Breathe.
is absolutely fearless. He has his stopwatch. He knows that he's not going to die right there. Puts the ball into himself and gets the 3-man Shockwave for his team. That was a situation where IG definitely had the HP bar advantage, but BREATHE is just too massive. They're going to snowball that away and also take down the Baron. I got to call it, man. This is lights out for IG.
This looks very, very bad for IG, but fantastic for Team WE. It was looking a bit shaky in game one. They kind of got themselves slapped, but that slap woke them up. They get themselves the Baron. They're able to get themselves the team fight. It's now a 6,500 gold lead. They might even try and take the red buff just for clean measures. Get out of there, Breathe. There's no need to overextend. And now, IG, you need miracles. You need mistakes. But this one, look at Breathe with the ball. So well placed.
Wow, that gap closing was absolutely magnificent. Uses the ult as soon as he lands right there, gets into the middle of IG, gets the triple man, and there isn't a lot of mobility left on players like Rookie, so they're able to clean that one up incredibly easy. And again, this is kind of the IG drafting problems. They don't draft for 5v5s. They are actually incredibly weak when they come to dragon fights like this. If they don't have a good enough lead in laning phase where they can just take Drakes off of priority, their compositions oftentimes run into these situations where, you know, the enemy team just gets into their backline far too easy.
And this is where I start to beg the question. This is where I start to ask, when do we stop making excuses for the Shy? When do we stop making excuses for IG as a whole team and start to actually, you know, rate them? Because again, we still rate them very, very highly, despite arguably two splits in the 2020 season that just weren't great at all. So when do we stop giving them the... Oh, I have to stop myself just very, very quickly as they jump straight in. Shun actually trying to keep away everybody else. Wink does keep himself alive, missing, burning down with the ignite, but oh, Shun's health bar just goes away, deletes into the ether, into the void as soon as he pops back out of the Zhonya's. And this, again, it's just pressure. That was a 4v5 essentially, and they're able to get the kill, get out, and keep pressure in the bot side.
That was a freebie coming in from Missy, but it doesn't matter. BEISHANG still trying to get some more.
Keep going. They're going to try and keep going. Breathe is there, does not find the tactical sweep. They're able to push down this mid lane tier 1, finally able to get the guard that is Wink, who has been just constantly in this mid lane, to back away from his post, and it will fall. Now a 7,000 gold lead, Team WE. They're on the path to victory. They just need to just finish it off. That's all they got to do.
Yeah, and it's a very standard finish as well. They have a ton of crowd control that they can throw. BAOLAN does not have his flash, so he's not going to be able to escape from this one. It's another easy pick. And this is just great from WE, watching them play around the side lanes. We have to mention that last split, they were playing with Morgan in the top lane, had no side lane pressure, but now they're capitalizing on it.
Oh, Rookie. That is not what you got to be doing there. They are going to catch the Shy out, and Shun. Everybody is going to be falling. JUMENG playing on the edge of his champion and will be able to pick up the ace. This is just so good from Team WE. They do not care for your Nexus turrets, and they will not just about get the ace as BAOLAN has just respawned. Will drop the solar flare, but the mid lane turret in tier 3 is gone. BAOLAN, what are you doing? What are you going to attempt from this? What are you going to gain from this? Nothing. You're going to gift over Shanks double kill. Team WE are here to play in the LPL. They've got their roster, they've got their star players, and they've got themselves a 3-0 start in the LPL. This is so damn impressive from Team WE.
Team WE were the team that went out in the first round of playoffs, but after this roster revamp, they are making a statement series by taking down Invictus Gaming.